and welcome to Choreographer Talk. My name is Jane D'Angelo. I'm the executive director of OhioDance and the producer of the OhioDance Festival. Today, our guest choreographer is Catherine Meredith. I have a few questions to ask you, and the first one I want to ask you is your work spans performance, choreography, writing, and scholarship. How do these different creative practices inform and shape your choreographic voice?
Yeah, so I think they all have a common denominator, and that's research. I feel I'm at my best as a choreographer or whatever I'm doing, whether it's writing, in my coursework. It really I feel at my best and most prepared when I have done my research. So I teach dance history at Kent State University, and I love learning about the history of things. I also really love telling stories that haven't had the opportunity to be maybe widely known, which is how Little Sure Shot was born. I think people do know of Annie Oakley. There have been plenty of shows about her. But I think what I didn't realize when I was doing the research for this particular work was that she's really an early feminist. And learning about how she led the drive and educated women to become expert marksmanship in marksmanship, but also really what she was really, I think, driven to do was to give women, to arm women with the tools for self-defense. And I yeah, I'm always amazed by hearing these women's stories and wanting to get that message out into the world. So research allows me to kind of enter a studio space prepared and informed and interested in what I'm doing. So I think that really has supported my work over the years.
I have another question for you. As you pursue your doctorate in educational leadership and cultural foundations, how do you see dance contributing to broader conversations about culture, education, and community?
I think we're learning a lot, and I think what pursuing my doctorate in cultural foundations really helped open up for me was how can we integrate like a multicultural education in the dance classroom. And so I think it really requires us to look inward and look at the things that we've just done because they've been done before, and we continue to model that history, whether it's beneficial to students, now in the 21st century or not. And I think we've been reflective. I think we still have more work to do. But I think one of the things is not necessarily always prioritizing the certain or art forms. I think we've gotten better about opening up spaces that allow for different voices to be heard and experienced, especially in the dance curriculum. And so I love that, like at our institution, we don't have just one hip hop class that's all encompassing, but we have levels of hip hop. We have levels. It's not just one, and that's the one class you're getting. But we understand that just like ballet or modern, the scaffolding should exist in all types of genres. And so I think, like I said, we have really started that work, and it just needs to be intentional in order to continue it, and we need that support from our institutions. But I think looking at policies, but it has been the one thing I always say about dance is no matter what adversities we face or the obstacles that come, and they will always be there, is that we will meet it head on and we will continue to do the work. We will continue to produce and make dance because that is what drives us to get up in the morning. And so whenever, we may get a little depressed about the situation financially or just, with things that are going on with cultural institutions right now or programs closing, uh, dance has been around a long time. It's the first form of communication. Um, It's still my mode, my most favorite mode of communication. And so it's not going to go away. We will just shift and pivot to uh, to creating um, a, a structure that will support it, because I think that's who we are and what we do.